What is going wrong with the Philadelphia 76ers? The 76ers came into the 2024-2025 NBA season with championship aspirations. And through the first 16 games of the season, they're 3-13. Yeah, 3-13. Bottom in the Eastern Conference. But what is actually going on in Philadelphia? Is it the roster? Is it the coaches? Or is it just the whole organization in general? Now, I know what you're going to say in comment. It's the injuries. It's always been the injuries. Everybody's always injured. But even with the injuries to this team, they should not be worse than the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors. But this start has not only been head-scratching to the Philadelphia 76ers fans, it's been head-scratching to all NBA fans in general. So today, we're taking a deep dive into what is not working with the Philadelphia 76ers, and what is also working, and what they have in the future. So stick along to the very end of the video, and do not forget to subscribe. 99.9% of you are not subscribed. Subscribe for more. Let's go. Alright, starting off strong, let's kick it off for the offseason and the moves they made. Obviously, they signed Paul George. He was the #1 guy in free agency, and Philadelphia got him. They signed Paul George to the 4-year max, which in my opinion, signing that kind of an older guy to a max contract isn't the smartest idea, but to get Paul George, that's the money and the offer they had to throw. But to me, it's the role players they signed that made this offseason an A+ for the Philadelphia 76ers. Well, at least I thought back then. They signed players like Caleb Martin, Gurban Yabusele, and in my opinion, the best one was Eric Gordon. And let's not forget their draft pick, Jared McCain. We'll get to him in a little bit. The media and myself loved these moves for the Philadelphia 76ers this offseason. Now, unfortunately, looking back at it, I don't know how I feel. But let's get into this season. Obviously, they started 3-13, and their first win was a 2-point victory over the Charlotte Hornets, so does that really even count? I mean, look at all the losses. Look at all of them. And the wins are not impressive either. Charlotte Hornets, Brooklyn Nets, like these aren't good teams. But let's take it back a step to the NBA preseason. Joel Embiid is dealing with a knee injury. Paul George hyperextends his knee, and it's looking like Tyrese Maxey has to carry the load again for this Philadelphia team. Well, unfortunately, that's exactly what happened until Tyrese Maxey got hurt himself. Out of the 16 games the 76ers have played, Joel Embiid has played 4, Paul George has played 8, and Tyrese Maxey has played 10. But there is one game where they all overlap and they play in the same game against the Memphis Grizzlies. You'd think they'd walk in there, they'd get the dub, they have their big three, they have Jared McCain. No. They lose by 6 to the Memphis Grizzlies. What the hell is happening in Philadelphia? We are not even at Thanksgiving, and the hope in the season is over for Philadelphia, some may say. And I'm not going to be a hater of this video. I'm going to talk about the bright spots of this Philadelphia team and what they have in the future. So let's start off with the best player on their team so far this season, Jared McCain. I'm 2 days into college and I'm 3 lectures behind. Now, obviously, the one bright spot of this team has been Jared McCain. He's been the most consistent and best player throughout the 16-game stretch. He's averaging 16, 2-2, and shooting 40% from 3. The guy's got a clip. I don't care about his fingernails. But he is a prime example of a player who probably shouldn't be averaging these numbers, getting an opportunity and absolutely demolishing it. Like, come on, who saw this coming? Nobody. He also went on a 7-game stretch where he scored more than 20 points per game, and in 4 of those games, he scored more than 27 points. From a rookie. Are you serious? And it was just outside the lottery rookie too. It wasn't like a top pick. And he is most likely going to win Rookie of the Year because of the injuries Philadelphia has had, and I see them being injured throughout the whole season. So McCain, lock it up, Rookie of the Year. Now, he was the best offseason accusation. Let's talk about the worst. Let's talk about Paul George. Now, obviously, stop flaming me in the comments. It's only been 16 games. I understand. But through the first 16 games, Paul George... That's not Paul George. That's, well... kind of is. I'm sorry. Tobias Harris will live rent-free in the Philadelphia 76ers fans' heads forever. He's literally been Tobias Harris. He's literally been Tobias Harris. He's only played 8 games, but he's shooting 27% from 3, averaging 15, 5, and 5, and making a gajillion dollars while he's there. Congrats, 76ers. Congrats, Daryl Morey. You signed another Tobias Harris. Except this one's got a podcast, so I guess it bumps up his value. But seriously, he's still finding his role. He's still trying to get healthy. I understand the situation. Hopefully he'll pick it up by the All-Star break. But the chemistry is what's really going to need to change for the 76ers team. Let's kick it back to a game where Tyrese Maxey was going off. He had either 25 or 30 points at the time, and it was a 1-possession game. 76ers had the ball going up the court. Maxey was looking for the final shot to win the game. Except Paul George low-key waved them off. Didn't give Maxey the ball, bricked the shot, Sixers lose. Big thing with the media. Another big thing with the media from a big player they have. Joel Embiid, suspended 3 games before he even played a single game for shoving a media member in the media room. Then, the 76ers hold a players-only meeting that gets leaked. It gets leaked, and Paul George even talks about it on the podcast. The little things that kill the 76ers. Just crazy. But let's talk about a not-so-little human being, Joel Embiid. Now, I'm a Celtics fan. I don't like Joel Embiid, even though I want to laugh extremely hard. I'm going to put my bias aside and talk about Joel Embiid as a player and not as a person. Joel Embiid as a player. If you can stay on the floor, Joel Embiid, you are a top 2 center in this league. But this season, you just can't stay healthy. I mean, it's just incredible that you cannot stay healthy, but you can play during Team USA. It don't make sense. In my opinion, he should have stayed off the court this summer. It's not like he went on a deep playoff run because he hasn't made an Eastern Conference Finals appearance ever in his career. He should have got healthy this summer, then maybe rested to start the season and came in fresh. Unfortunately, I think he's going to be dealing with this injury throughout the whole season. He'll never be healthy. We'll never get a fully healthy Joel Embiid this year, and the Philadelphia 76ers don't even make the playoffs. Now, the future part of Joel Embiid is also a question mark. I understand he's pretty much the staple of the 76ers organization, but he's getting up there in age. So if I'm Daryl Morey, I'm fielding offers for Joel Embiid. It's just crazy to say, but I am. And that's mostly because of the youth I have. Now, we talked about McCain, we talked about Paul George, we talked about the media, we talked about Joel Embiid. Let's start to talk about Tyrese Maxey. Obviously, Maxey has been elite this season, he's been elite last season, and he's a great draft steal for the 76ers team. I believe that Tyrese Maxey is the most valuable player on this Philadelphia 76ers team. Not only is he one of the youngest players, he is the most star-studded player in that locker room. Joel Embiid, step aside, there's a new face to the franchise. It's going to be Tyrese Maxey. So if you're Daryl Morey, do you look at Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey and say, I need to start a rebuild with these two guards? Because I'm sure you get an absolute haul for Joel Embiid. Paul George might be a devastating contract, but you could probably trade him in a year or two. And this year's draft pick is going to be insanely valuable because it's top 6 protected, and they have it. And if you keep losing games, man, you're going to be in that top 6, which is crazy. I thought they'd be a playoff team, maybe even a championship contender, but throw all that shit out the window. So I know we were kind of all over the place in this video, but let's break it down. Does Philly come back from this 3-13 record? I'm going to say no. Does Philly enter a rebuild phase? I'm going to say no, but I think they really should, and especially field offers for Joel Embiid. Is the Paul George contract a bad move? I gotta say yes. I'm sorry. Will Joel Embiid ever be an NBA champion with the Philadelphia 76ers? That's for you to decide in the comments down below. If you've made it this long, do not forget to subscribe for more. Peace.